How's it going, guys? Welcome back to S3M2 Football and welcome to today's football preview video. For this one, our action takes us all the way to Italy's Serie A for a top of the table clash taking place this weekend on Sunday, the 10th of November at the San Siro. For this one, FC Internazionale host Napoli. We kick off our team analysis with the home side being Inter. The last 5 fixtures for the Nerazzurri have ended in 4 wins and 1 draw. Inter's last match was a 1-0 win at home against Arsenal earlier this week in the UEFA Champions League. In these last 5 fixtures, Inter Milan have scored 10 goals and conceded 4 goals. So Simone Inzaghi's team are getting goals, they're keeping clean sheets. All in all, it's good performances from this team. The first player I'd like to talk about for Inter has got to be French centre-forward Marcus Thuram. In 14 appearances, Thuram has scored 8 goals and provided 5 assists. In Marcus Thuram, I think FC Inter have a quick, strong, intelligent centre-forward who's very lethal with both feet and with his head. Next up, I want to talk about Italian central midfielder David Fratesi. In 15 appearances, Fratesi has scored 3 goals and provided 1 assist. In Fratesi, I think Inter have a young, intelligent midfielder who's got great vision and great passing range and accuracy. And finally, I want to talk about Dutch right back Denzel Dumfries. In 13 appearances, Denzel Dumfries has scored 2 goals and provided 1 assist. With Denzel Dumfries, I think Inter have a player out wide on that right hand side with a lot of speed, with great amounts of stamina, and who's got great crossing abilities, able to play these diagonal balls across the pitch with great accuracy. In terms of injuries for the Nerazzurri, I think this team are only going to be missing Carlos Augusto at left back. Otherwise, I think Simone Inzaghi has all of his players to work with. And I think he's going to approach this one with his favorite 3-5-2 formation. Just looking to play on the counter-attack all the time, whether it's attacking centrally or out wide. But I think in his back 3 in particular, we will see Bastoni returning to the side after being rested for their Champions League tie against Arsenal. The same will be said in the midfield for Nicolo Barella, and then up front with Marcus Thuram at centre forward. Inter are just going to be looking to keep the ball central and release those wide players in either Denzel Dumfries on the right or Federico Di Marco on the left, just looking to get width and stretch the opposition and then poke holes in all of those areas of the pitch where they find spaces. Okay, on to the away team. Now for Napoli, the last 5 fixtures have ended in 4 wins and 1 loss. Napoli's last match was a 3-0 loss at home against Atalanta in the Italian Serie A last weekend. In these last 5 fixtures, Napoli have scored 7 goals but conceded 4 goals. So I think maybe Antonio Conte will be a little concerned that his team are shipping that many and maybe not getting as many as he would like up front. The first player I'd like to talk about for Napoli has got to be Georgian left winger Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. In 13 appearances, Kvaratskhelia has scored 5 goals and contributed 2 assists this season. In Kvaratskhelia, I think Napoli have a wide player who's very fast, who's got great ball control, and he's very creative in those wide areas of the pitch. Next up, I want to talk about Belgian centre-forward Romelu Lukaku. In 10 appearances, Lukaku has scored 4 goals and provided 5 assists. In Lukaku, I think Napoli have a centre forward who is very strong, who's very physical, and who's very lethal. Lukaku's not afraid to use his physicality to just bully the defenders, win the ball, and then score at every given opportunity. And finally, I want to talk about Scottish central midfielder Scott McTominay. In 9 appearances, McTominay has scored 2 goals and provided 2 assists. I think in McTominay, Napoli have a real box-to-box midfielder who's very aggressive when it comes to winning the ball back, but he's also very flexible with how he can play with the ball at his feet. McTominay can pass, he can dribble, and he can score. In terms of injuries, I don't think Napoli have to worry about anything. Their squad is fully fit, So I think Coach Antonio Conte is actually going to put his team out with that 4-3-3 formation that Napoli have used to great effect this season. We'll see Romelu Lukaku in that number 9 position up front, playing as that lone centre forward, with Kvicha Kvaratskhelia out on that left wing to just give them a bit of creativity and a bit of artistic guile out wide. Kvaratskhelia can go out wide and cross the ball in to create chances for others, or he can cut in and take shots himself. With McTominay operating as the engine room in the heart of this team, I think Napoli are always going to have a player who's running, always looking to press the ball, and always looking to cycle the ball forward so that this team can carry on playing on the counter attack, using their wingers to stretch the opposition and then just getting goals with that centre forward. Okay, on to the head-to-head between these two teams. Now, the last 5 fixtures between Inter Milan and Napoli have ended in 3 wins for Inter, 1 win for Napoli, and then 1 draw separating the two teams. In terms of goal output in these last 5 fixtures, Inter have scored 7, while Napoli have scored 4. So, judging from these statistics, it looks like it really does favor the Nerazzurri. Looking at the Serie A table, however, Napoli are first with 25 points, while Inter are second with 24 points. So that actually tells us that right now, this definitely is one of the most exciting and most heated clashes of this weekend, with both of these teams wanting to win just to cement their place at the top of the Serie A going into the next international break. Going into that match against Atalanta, Napoli were actually on a 10-match unbeaten streak before seeing that record just shattered before their eyes. Inter go into this one on an unbeaten streak of their own. For the Nerazzurri, it is 9 matches since they tasted defeat, and that match was at home against AC Milan in the Milan derby. I think an easy way to judge these two teams is actually looking at how they performed against Juventus, because both of these teams went out against Juventus, but both of them got draws against the Bianconeri as well. I think, however, if we look at how they got those draws, it tells a very contrasting story. For Inter, it was a 4-4 draw where we just saw goals galore, but for Napoli, it was a 0-0 draw that saw both sides just frustrated with the defenses doing their jobs, but the forward lines just looking uninspired on the day. I think when we look at these two teams right now, domestically, Napoli are looking very, very good. Inter are looking quite good as well, but they're competing on more fronts. The Champions League will probably have left this team quite tired, resulting in Simone Inzaghi having to rotate players in that match. I think obviously had that match been played at a different stage where Inter didn't have to deal with Napoli, we could have seen Barella and Marcus Thuram playing in that match against Arsenal from the first minute. I think fatigue does play a bit of a role in this one, especially when we look at how Inter like to play. They like to press the ball, they like to win it back, and everybody's always moving. This team are always looking to just support one another with those runs or to just create space and openings for other players to run into. And I think that is going to count against Inter going into this one. However, Inter have been fantastic at home this season. That loss against AC Milan was the only time the Nerazzurri lost at the San Siro, and even then it is a shared stadium, so you could say it was 50-50 anyway. I think when we look at Napoli, they're a team that is now kind of overachieving. Having lost Osimhen in the transfer window, there were a lot of questions about how Napoli was going to get goals, and then they brought Lukaku in, and he's not getting as many goals for them as they would like, but he is hitting the back of the net with a fair degree of frequency. I think, however, if we look at these two teams collectively, I just feel like desire at Inter Milan seems a little more than at Napoli right now. I think the players at Napoli are maybe feeling they've won the Scudetto once and that is enough for them. But with Inter, I see so much hunger and so much desire in these players all the time. Players who have been competing at this high level for so many years, like Mkhitaryan and Çalhanoğlu, who want to just keep winning as they win trophies. And I think that's what's going to push Inter over the finish line here. I think it is that desire that sets them apart because on paper, individually, these teams are very evenly matched. Maybe Inter edge Napoli out a little bit more. And collectively, I could say the same. But I think in terms of that desire right now, Inter outclass Napoli just a little bit too much for me. My final score prediction here is going to be Inter Milan 2, Napoli 1. hi. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. We really appreciate the watch time and the fact that you took some time out of your day to spend it with us talking about the sport that we all love. If you enjoyed the content, why not, drop a like down below or comment in the comment section. Maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. And I mean, while you are here right now, have a look at some of our old videos too. They should be appearing on the screen right now, along with that subscribe button. So you know exactly what to do. Thank you so much. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And have a great day out there. And we hope to see you again very, very soon. Thanks. Stay safe.